Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Shamika, and welcome back to Speak Freely. Here we celebrate the freedom of speech. And in today's conversation, I want to talk about why people hate America.
I fucking hate this country.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head.
So, in the discussion of hating America, I'm not talking about people outside of America. I'm not talking about people who live in other countries who don't like America. I'm talking about Americans hating America, or people who immigrated here and became citizens who hate America. And I've seen this happen more and more increasingly, especially with the leftist side of things. People who are Republicans or conservatives tend to be a lot more patriotic and love their country. People who are leftist or progressives tend to hate America and everything American. Everything. Like, if you can somehow attach it to American history, it's racist in some way. It's racist. We shouldn't do it. We should destroy it. It's the same thing. Like, the thing that's going on over in Britain right now is, or even Sweden right now, is that their culture is diversity. That's what it is. That Sweden doesn't really have a culture. Britain doesn't really have a culture. Their culture is diversity. Their culture is whatever it is, and whoever is in it, that becomes their culture, and that's what it is. And then people argue that it's not fair. Like, people who were born and raised in Britain, they should be able to hold on to some sort of British culture, and the same thing in Sweden. And I think a lot of progressives sort of want to bring that over here to America and say that, no, we should just dismantle this idea of American culture, and it should just be diversity. It should be whatever it is. I kind of understand it, because just to be transparent, like, I definitely used to be that type of person. I used to be like, not fuck America, but the idea, like, when I heard people like chanting USA, USA, I would like cringe, and I probably still would cringe, to be honest. I used to say stuff like, this idea of America being the most powerful country is a delusion, that we're so in debt, that is so corrupt, that is so evil. I would say, like, I'm a world citizen, I'm not an American citizen. Like, I understood the idea of not liking America, and I think that's not just for Americans. I think a lot of people from other countries, like, always have, like, don't like their country. Like, I've traveled with people who are French, who are Brazilian, who are Swedish, or whatever, who say, like, I never want to go back to my country, I hate it. So I don't think it's just, like, just Americans who do this. But this video is about America. But even when I had my attitude towards America, I would always end my little rants with, but I know how incredibly blessed I am to be born in America, because there is a lot of other worse situations I could have been born in as a woman and as a black woman. So I'm very, very, very happy to have been born and raised in America. And I know, unlike a lot of other black people or progressives will be like, what? Like, how is it okay to be in America? America's so racist. Then go move somewhere else and see, like, how much better it is to have an American passport and to be an American. I'm not saying that we are the best country. I'm just saying that this is one of the better countries to have been born and raised in. And I know how incredibly blessed I am. I want to talk about one of the top reasons why people tend to hate America. And one of the biggest things that you'll hear people say is America was built off the backs of slaves or the backs of Native Americans. That America is, our hands are stained in blood, that was built off of murder and slave and just rape and pillage. It was built, our grounds are stained with blood of the ancestors who came before us, or the slaves who were brought here. That's a lot of what's been said. It's kind of like blood money. Like, even if I got money from a relative who got money from another person who got money from killing someone and taking their money, then that money, no matter what I do with it, is still going to be blood money. No matter what I do with it, if I take it and I give it to charity, if I take it, if I, find the cure to AIDS or cure to cancer, if I take it and I build up skyscrapers, and I take it and I build up a whole community, it doesn't matter how all the good things that can come from that money is still blood money. Therefore, everything you've done with it is still shit. And I feel like that's how people see it. It's like, no matter what we do as America, we still built America off of slavery and off of blood and off of murder and off of rape. So no matter what we do after that, it's still bad, because that's where it came from. And that's sort of the main thing that I hear people say. And in my opinion, That's true. There's other people that have this opinion that, well, if Christopher Columbus never came over, if we never came over, and we never settled here, that America would still be like this dirt land. It wouldn't be no innovation, it'd be nothing here. And I can't really like go with that because woulda, shoulda, coulda, like, we don't know what would have happened if Christopher Columbus or nobody, if he never came here. We don't know what the future would have held. Maybe somebody else would have settled here and they would have done things differently. Maybe the Native Americans would have done something. We don't really know what the future would have held, how it would have unfolded if that never happened. So we can't really personally, I don't think people can personally say that. And I do agree with the idea that America has a very, very horrible history. We really do. But the thing that I've come to sort of realize is that that's not specific to America. Like, mostly every country has a really shitty past. If you go to most countries and you look into their past, somebody pillaged, somebody murdered, somebody raped, there were probably some slaves. That's just how things were done back then. Like, if you wanted something, you took it and you killed people for it. You murdered their children, you murdered their kin, you murdered their whole lineage because you wanted that land. That is just the way things happened back then. You went and you took what you wanted. And it's not indicative, or it's not specialized just to white people, because I hear people say that too, like white people destroy everything they touch. They go to people's lands and they take. No, that happened in Africa too. That happens in Eastern Asian countries. That happens in other Asian countries. That is not just specialized in white people. In Africa, they had wars too between tribes. They killed each other. They murdered each other. They raped each other. They have slaves. They still have slaves. Like that happened everywhere in every country, because that is just how things were back then. It doesn't mean it's okay, and I'm not saying like, oh, that's just the way things were, so slavery is okay. No, it was bad. It was all bad. Then the thing is, I feel like the Americans who hate America, make it seem like America is the only country that is guilty of that, and that white people are the only race of people that are guilty of that, where many countries and many races are guilty of that. And the thing is, even today, present day, they tend to love to hold America accountable for their past, which I'm not saying they shouldn't, but kind of let other cultures and countries off the hook for what they're doing right now. Like India, who has a caste system that babies are literally born into prostitution and will be prostitutes for the rest of their lives. And if you present that to some progressive leftists, they'll just be like, oh, well, that's just their culture and you can't shame other people's cultures because that's racist. But you can go on all day, every day about the past that America had, or the fact that, homosexuality is illegal in a lot of Middle Eastern countries. Oh no, we can't talk about that because that's bad. We can't talk about the cultures. Or when in Africa or other places, that rape is actually a part of their culture, where if someone's raped, the victim, is the one who's kicked out of the tribe, and the rapist gets to keep walking free. The person who got raped is the one who's brought shame upon the family, and the person who raped gets to walk free. That's real rape culture. But when you bring stuff up like that, it almost feels like they apologize for it and they make excuses for it. But they make it seem like America is like the most evilest country, and America's the only country that's guilty of their crimes, where other countries have done the exact same thing, and some countries are still doing it. So I'm not saying that people can't criticize America, because I do think it's actually patriotic to criticize your country, especially if you're criticizing it because you want it to do better. But I just feel like it's a bit hypocritical, where the same people who will go on and on how racist America is and everything American, like Christianity is pretty much like the worst religion to have right now because it's seen as American, it's seen as white American. So I feel like the same people that go on about that will never turn around and look at the other countries who have the same history or other countries who are doing the bad things now. Like, they would never admit that America is actually a pretty good country to be in and live in. There's other countries that's great to live in. I feel like a lot of people who criticize or bash America are just ungrateful for what they have. They don't actually see the blessings that's right in front of their face. On my other channel, like, I said something like 2017 is an amazing time to be a black female in America. And people were literally like confused that I said that. They were like, what do you mean? What's so amazing about it? I don't know, that I can do whatever the fuck I want to do in my life. Like, I have every freedom there is. America is one of the most freest countries there is in the world. It's like, why would I not be happy to be an American, even though I am traveling? But I still am very happy to have my American passport. Is that saying that America is perfect? Hells no. Is that saying that even capitalism is perfect? Everything, our whole government structure is perfect? Hells no. I am one of the biggest skeptics when it comes to American government and any government at that. No. I think America has a lot of problems and a lot of issues, and I think our government is extremely corrupt, and I think politicians are just extremely corrupt. But I think politicians and governments are corrupt in every country there is. I don't think, again, that that's specialized and just to America, and every other country is living in a utopic society, and if only America could just learn from everybody else. No, like, I feel like the same things that a lot of people point to America and say that you're really horrible, but they'll point to all these other countries and say we should learn from them, but they also have a really bad, shitty history as well. Most countries do. I'm not bashing other countries as well. I'm just saying there is no country that is perfect, and I'm saying that there is no country that has completely clean hands when it comes to their history or the way they treated their citizens throughout the time that that country existed. There's been wars upon wars upon wars throughout the history of the world. No country is innocent of that. That's what I'm trying to say. I am traveling right now, and I think every country that I've been to is absolutely beautiful and amazing. And there are little things that I wish that we had in America or America can learn from. But I am still very, very aware how incredibly blessed I am to be an American and to have an American passport. And that's not something that I feel like people think it's wrong or conceited to say that you like being the citizen that you are. But again, I feel like most people who hate America only hold that accountable to Americans. Everyone else can be proud of their country and proud of who they are, except Americans or except white people. But so no, that's not me saying like, oh, every country is really bad, so we shouldn't bash America. No, there's a lot of countries that have a lot of amazing things, but still there may be something that can be fixed in it, just like America. So it's just, I'm not, again, saying that we shouldn't bash America or you shouldn't criticize the country you come from. I'm just saying, like, don't pretend or act like it is specialized to just your country. Because every country has something they can work on, and every country probably has some skeletons in their closet that they prefer to forget about. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's it, guys. Tell me, guys, what you think. If you agree with me or disagree with me or have any comments on anything that I just vomited out of my mouth, please put it in a comment in the comment section below. If you like this video, please like it and share it. If you want to continue having these amazing, crazy conversations with Noah, please subscribe. And if you subscribe, hit that bell so you get the notifications when I do upload. And thank you, and peace.